So I've done everything that I think that I need to take care of before I've gotten to the PCV valve to deal with it's not a rough idle, it just isn't super smooth, and it should be, because it has been in the past. So I've redone the spark box, basically the spark plug coil, the ignition coil, the wires, the spark plugs, the air filter, and I run major grade detergent gas. So I was thinking it shouldn't be a problem with the PCV valve getting clogged up. However, I've only had the vehicle for 40,000 miles. And on top of that, it's 140,000 miles total for the mileage on this vehicle at this time. And it's time for these things to get changed. Time for these things to get replaced. We're back at it with the 2006 Subie Forester 2.5X non-turbo. And today we're doing this. This is a vacuum hose for the PCV, specifically made for the Subaru non-turbo. People want to sell you this piece of equipment and this piece of equipment. That's not it. This hose replaces this hose right here. You see it's got this fiber shield around it to protect it. Nothing worse than trying to do a job and have a bunch of stuff in the way. You think that you're saving time by not taking the stuff off, and you're actually not saving time. It's taking time. This is the flow through from the air box and the MAF into the air collector here at the intake. Loosen those two screws, pull back on this side. It's accordioned for doing that. And then slip this off at this end. And put it someplace where you won't forget it. What we're going to be doing is taking off this collector over here for the intake. So we're doing this to be able to access this hose down in here. So that's our 5/16 for the clamp screw, and a 10 millimeter for the box brackets. And I'm just going to take that all the way out and put it in the magnetic tray. If you can't see what's going on over here, it's the same thing as here, but over here. All right. We are also going to need to release this so that the box can move forward. And it's a simple, you just pull it off. It's a friction fit onto two slots right here. So that's now free to move around as we need. Is that this bracket right here, this bracket runs right down on top of the intake, and it's the bracket that holds the box, helps hold the box in place, okay? This is blocking right where we need our hand to go. So you see we've opened this whole area up here so that we can access this one special tube. And it is a very special tube. And this has to come off in order to get to the PCV valve. So I've come in to go after the PCV valve, but it is not budging under normal circumstances. So I've gotten the big guns out, and I've also opened up some of the area here. I've taken off the ignition coil. And moved these hoses as best I can out of the way. And hopefully that'll give me enough bite on the head of that PCV valve to get it to break free. It is not breaking free, and I don't like that. Also, if you have a bad habit like I do of being in a hurry and wanting to exert a whole bunch of pressure onto something that can quickly release and just bust your knuckles, go for it. I hope you have a good time, but I do the gloves. I like my hands. There it is. It's good. Just needed more leverage. Here's the old PCV valve. You can barely hear any movement in there. And here's the new PCV valve. That's what it's supposed to sound like. And I'm glad that this one needed to be replaced, because I'd hate to go through all of that and not have to put the new one on. Fresh new, oh yeah, fresh new hose. Fresh new hose. PCV valve replaced. I'm going to put the ignition coil back in place. And it's really nice because these bolts do not come out, okay? So they'll stay in place. You don't have to worry about losing them when you're putting things back together. There we go. Always look for whatever it is that will connect you back into your proper rotation. 2 bolts on top, 1 bolt down below. And what helped me do that was this clip that goes into place here on the side of the coil. You don't want to tighten any of your when you have multiple bolts that are holding something in place, you don't want to tighten down one of them all the way. Unless, you are so directed to do so by the manufacturer. But this gives you wiggle room. And you can just put them right back where they need to be, just using your fingers, finger tight. Just tighten it down to where it's snug. Okay? Because you want to leave some wiggle room for your other bolts to thread in easily. That's good. And this one wants to be difficult. So when you can't get enough resistance on your ratchet, you can reach down with your 2 fingers and grab the extension. And that'll give you enough resistance to ratchet, for the ratchet mechanism to work. This only needs to be firm. It does not need to be super tight. Just snug. Snug is good. I'd say half spark plug. Half spark plug tight. Till it's snug. Snug. And snug. So what I'm going to do is the exact opposite of what I did to get this out. And I'm going to take the socket and use it to apply pressure to the bolt to hold it in place. This bracket fits on other brackets down here with this little lip keeping it from moving one side or the other. When you go to line up the bolt, then you'll see that that will go into place, and then just finger start the bolt until you get it good and snug. Then you can take your ratchet and give it a snug down. Where did I leave off? Oh, that's right. The bracket. The bracket's in place. And is that why that has a shroud? That might be why that has a shroud, because it can rub against the bracket. Interesting. And we'll hook this back on, and remember, this is just a, we just pull that up into place. Then we'll tighten down that clamp screw, jed clamp screw. And when it starts getting snug, we'll take a look at the position, make sure everything's as it should be, up close and personal as far as it can get onto the throttle body opening. Good and snug. And that one down. That one down. Spark plug snug. Okay, and we'll reconnect this little sensor. Just slides onto that bar. That's good.